What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. It is Sunday, December 17th, 2023, and this is the post-game recap video for the Miami Dolphins against the New York Jets. And let's just say, going into this week, that your boy was panicking, okay? After a loss like that on Monday night, up 27 to 13 with 3 minutes to go, and they blow that game to the Tennessee Titans. And then you have all the injuries that happened during the week. Tyreek Hill, the offensive line, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, which, by the way, today, the Miami Dolphins were without Tyreek Hill, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, Deshaun Elliott, and Robert Hunt in the game today. All those guys did not play. And, yeah, you would be a fool not to panic in that type of situation, knowing who the Dolphins are. In the past couple years, the Dolphins have folded in December, and at least most of us thought, here we go again. Another December collapse for the Miami Dolphins. But this game today against the New York Jets ignited my confidence back. I'm back, baby. They needed to play a game like they did today. I didn't need to see them go out there and barely beat the Jets. I needed to see them go out there and beat the Jets handily. And that's exactly what they did today. Even without Tyreek and the offensive line banged up, that's what they needed to do today. And I'm happy to say that's exactly what the Miami Dolphins did today. They beat the Jets 30-0. They're 10-4 on the season, and it was a great performance. And I want to give credit the most to Mike McDaniel, who probably knew going into this week that Tyreek Hill was not going to play in this game against the Jets. And now looking back at it, it's kind of good that he did. He's probably not getting 2,000 yards anymore, but the Miami Dolphins have bigger aspirations than getting 2,000 yards. The Miami Dolphins are trying to make a playoff run, and Tyreek Hill's ankle is more important than getting 2,000 receiving yards. So the Dolphins went out there today, and they balled. The coaching was fantastic between Mike McDaniel and Vic Fangio. The offense had some really good moments today, and the defense was great. The defense, shout out to the backups on defense, man. Duke Riley had himself another solid day. Brandon Jones had 2 interceptions today. Elijah Campbell made some really nice plays. The backups on defense today played really good. And I wanted the Miami Dolphins to shut me up today. That's what I wanted, because if they went out there and they lost to the New York Jets, the bitching was going to be up another level for me. And I have to admit, I bitched all week about this team. I bitched all week about that game on Monday night. I bitched all week about the injuries for the Dolphins, and how what happened last season is going to happen again. I fully pressed the panic button. Matter of fact, I slammed the panic button. And the team proved me wrong today. And I could not be any happier. Again, the Miami Dolphins beat the Jets 30-0 at Hard Rock Stadium. We're going to go over this game. We probably don't have much to say in the second half, but we'll go over the first half, and we'll get into the second half as well. Didn't make a video this week just because the vibes were so low going into this week's game against the Jets that I didn't even want to make a preview. So You had the vlog last week against the Titans. I did a rant when I came home from Miami. Uploaded that on Wednesday. And that's all the content I did this week, man. But we're going to have more this week, I promise. Now that the vibes are good again, I'll be back with the content for sure, leading into this game against the Dallas Cowboys, which I do want to talk about at the end. Because now, that's the biggest game of the season. Next week against the Dallas Cowboys, that is the biggest game of the season. You see the trend here? Every game moving forward is the biggest game of the season for the Miami Dolphins. Let's get into some stats right here. Zach Wilson only played in the first half of this game, and he was out in the second half with a head injury. He got absolutely crushed today. I don't know who started on that Jets offensive line, but my God, that offensive line was a disaster for the New York Jets today. He went 4 for 11 with 26 passing yards, and he didn't play in the second half. Trevor Siemian went 14 for 26, 110 passing yards, and 2 interceptions, both to Brandon Jones. Breece Hall had 12 carries for 6 yards. The Dolphins defense held the Jets to 23 rushing yards. 23 rushing yards today. Garrett Wilson had 3 catches for 29 yards. Xavier Gibson had 2 catches for 29 yards. Allen Lazard had 3 catches for 21 yards. And Tyler Conklin had 4 catches for 18 yards. The Jets got 3 sacks on Tua today. You look at the Dolphins side of things. Tua Tagovailoa, 21 for 24, 224 yards, and 1 touchdown. Tua played a really good game today. Without Tyreek Hill, I know it wasn't a lot of big passes. I mean, he had a big pass to Jalen Waddle for 60 yards. I understand today was a lot of underneath stuff, which is kind of what the game plan needed to be, get the ball out quick. And I thought he played a really good game today, man. Tua had a nice bounce-back game from Monday night because he did not play good on Monday night. When Connor Williams and Tyreek went out of that game, Tua was not good in that game against the Titans. Raheem Mostert had 15 carries, 42 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He now has the most touchdowns ever in a single season in Miami Dolphins history. He has 20 total touchdowns on the season, 18 rushing touchdowns for Raheem Mostert. Man, a lot of people have to talk about him as being a player that we did not expect to have this type of a season for the Miami Dolphins. He's continuing to have such an incredible season, a Pro Bowl caliber season for Raheem Mostert. Devon Achane had 9 carries for 32 yards. Jalen Waddle stepped up big today. 8 catches, 142 yards, and a touchdown. He absolutely cooked DJ Reed today. The first game on Black Friday, he cooked Sauce Gardner. And today, he absolutely cooked DJ Reed on multiple occasions. Durham Smythe had 4 catches for 32 yards. Devon Achane had 3 catches for 30 yards. Braxton Berrios had 1 catch for 12 yards. Then we get to the defensive stats. Bradley Chubb with a monster bounce-back game, which he needed to have because he was one of the reasons why the Dolphins lost on Monday night with the stupid penalty of slamming the helmet to the turf or to the grass. Today, Bradley Chubb had 7 tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Bradley Chubb was the MVP today. That's what I'm going to put it at. If I had to give an MVP today, I'm giving it to Bradley Chubb. Brandon Jones had 5 tackles and 2 interceptions. Then you look at the sacks. Bradley Chubb had 3 sacks. Duke Riley had a half a sack. Andrew Van Ginkel had a half a sack. Christian Wilkins had a half a sack. He now has 8 sacks on the season. Zach Zeeler had a sack. Emmanuel Ogbah had a half a sack. The Miami Dolphins had 6 sacks today against this New York Jets offensive line. They absolutely took advantage of that beat-up Jets offensive line because they were missing some starters today as well, and it showed. The Miami Dolphins had 290 total yards on offense on 57 plays, and the New York Jets, get this one, folks, on 55 plays, had 103 total yards. That is including the backups. That includes the backups today. The New York Jets offense had 103 yards. And you know what's funny? There was a report coming out last night that Aaron Rodgers could be cleared to play next week against the Commanders. And there was a report by Schefter saying, you know, if the Jets win this game, Rodgers' voice is going to be heard loud and clear throughout the entire week to put him on the field. And the Miami Dolphins, they ended all the Jets' hopes for the season. That makes me happy. They pretty much ended the New York Jets season twice. Once on Black Friday, and then today at Hard Rock Stadium. Let's get into this game. The Dolphins started out with the ball today. Tua Tagovailoa on a screen pass to Jalen Waddle for 8 yards. Then Tua on another screen pass to Jalen Waddle, who takes it for 13 yards and a first down. Tua found Jalen Waddle for 23 yards, but a holding call was called on Austin Jackson. Made it 2nd and 19. Tua to Raheem Mostert for 1 yard, and then on 3rd and 18, Tua on a check down to Devon Achane for 12 yards, forced the Miami Dolphins to punt. 3rd and 6 at the Jets' 16-yard line, Zach Wilson converted to Xavier Gibson, and then on this play, Zach Wilson had both Bradley Chubb and Christian Wilkins running full force at him. Bradley Chubb absolutely crushed Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson fumbled the football, recovered by Zach Zeeler, who got it at the 1 yard line, set up the Miami Dolphins 1st and goal at the Jets 1, and on 3rd and goal, Raheem Mostert 2-yard touchdown. Mike McDaniel learning from his mistakes, running the ball inside the 5-yard line. Even if you don't get it in, keep going. Keep running the ball. And that's exactly what happened. Dolphins, they're up 7-0. The Jets, they go 7 plays, 16 yards, 3rd and 6. Zach Wilson to Tyler Conklin for 7 yards. Then on 3rd and 4, Zach Wilson to Xavier Gibson. And then for some odd reason, why this happened, I don't know. But the New York Jets decided to run a fake punt. They snapped it to a linebacker, I believe. And Christian Wilkins and Raekwon Davis, they read it like a book. And the Jets got -1 yards. And the Dolphins started the next drive on the Jets' 41-yard line. Then Tua, we get to this drive. This is to start the second quarter. Tua to Chase Claypool for 5 yards. 3rd and 3, Tua gets it to Devon Achane for 5 yards at the first down. A nice quick out run for Devon Achane. Devon Achane takes it for 3 yards. Tua fits it in a tight hole to Durham Smythe for 7 yards. Achane for a 5-yard gain. Achane for another 5-yard gain, but then it gets called back. Offsides on Robbie Chosen makes it 2nd and 10. Incomplete to Raheem Mostert. 3rd and 15. Tua to Waddle to 10 yards. Sets up Jason Sanders for a 37-yard field goal. And the Dolphins are up 10-0. the Jets, they go 3-and-out. Zach Wilson sacked by Bradley Chubb on second down. Delay a game on the Jets, and then Breece Hall for a 3-yard carry on 3rd and 24. The Dolphins, they go 3-and-out on their next drive. Tua was sacked by Quinnen Williams at the Jets' 42-yard line, and he decides to do the waddle for a celebration. That came back to bite him. The Jets, they go 3 plays. They go 3-and-out. On this third down play, Zach Wilson was sacked by Zach Zeeler. It was now Zach Zeeler's turn to get a sack on Zach Wilson. Then Braxton Berrios got a nice return to the 40-yard line of Miami. And it took one play just to go out. Jalen Waddle cooked DJ Reed, Tua Tagovailoa to Jalen Waddle, a 60-yard touchdown. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful from Tua to Jalen Waddle. And, Tua kind of shut up the haters, including myself, that they couldn't get the job done without Tyreek Hill. And this play proved it. Because a lot of his deep shot throws was to Tyreek Hill. This one to Waddle was absolutely beautiful. Dolphins are up 17-0. Jets go 5 plays, 9 yards. 2nd and 10. Zach Wilson was sacked by Duke Riley and Emmanuel Ogbah. Each got a half a sack, then incomplete to Breece Hall. This was the play where Zach Wilson was injured on 3rd down. He did not return the rest of this game. Tracy Wolfson was saying that he was dealing with hydration. And no shit, because he was running around the entire day like a chicken with its head cut off, with this Dolphin defense coming right after him. So he was getting crushed all day long. The Dolphins, they then finished off the first half, 11 plays, 80 yards. This was their best drive of the day, and it pretty much put the game away, in my opinion. 3rd and 4, Tua to Jalen Waddle for 8 yards, and then Tony Adams comes in and he hits Jalen Waddle from behind, adds 15 yards onto the penalty. It sets up Miami at their own 49-yard line. Raheem Mostert for 4 yards. Incomplete to Jalen Waddle. Then on 3rd down, Tua finds Braxton Berrios for 12 yards and a first down. 3rd and 7, Tua to Jalen Waddle for 19 yards. Raheem Mostert gets it down to the 12-yard line. Or not the 12-yard line. He gets a 12-yard gain down to the Jets' 1-yard line. And then Tua hands it off to Raheem Mostert, who walks into the end zone for a touchdown. His 20th touchdown on the season. And your Miami Dolphins are up 24-0 over the New York Jets at halftime. Second half, the Jets started out with the ball. Trevor Siemian was in this game, and he was in this game the rest of the way. The Jets, they went 3-and-out, lost 9 yards. The Dolphins, they killed 5.5 minutes. They went 9 plays, 41 yards. 2nd and 13, Tua was sacked by Bryce Huff. Then 3rd and 18, Tua to Devon Achane, who picked up 13 yards on this play. And they decided to go for it on the Jets' 45-yard line. Tua to Jalen Waddle, 25 yards down the field. Who did Jalen Waddle cook on this play? DJ Reed. You guessed it, baby. Devon Achane up the middle for 4 yards. The Jets got a holding penalty. They got enforcement twice. Down to the Jets 6. And penalties. Not penalties. Raheem Mostert lost 7 yards on 2nd down with another pitch play. Then third and goal. Tua incomplete to Jeff Wilson. A lot of holding by Quinnen Williams on that play. The referees didn't call it. Tony Romo was saying on the broadcast that it was an uncatchable ball. Whatever. Dude sounded so... he sounded like he did not want to be there. Jim Nantz, I love. I love Jim Nantz. But Tony Romo, he's insufferable, man. I cannot listen to a full game of Tony Romo. I did today. It was the second time this year he called a Miami Dolphins game. So, but Jim Nantz is a Hall of Fame legend, man. You gotta respect Jim Nantz. Jason Sanders from 27 yards, good, and the Dolphins are up 27-0 over the Jets. The Jets go 7 plays, 42 yards. This was the Garrett Wilson drive, I think. Yeah, this was the Garrett Wilson drive. 1st and 15 at the Jets 38. Simeon finds Garrett Wilson for 18 yards. 2nd down and 9. Simeon to Garrett Wilson for 5 yards. And then on 3rd down, Christian Wilkins was offsides. It gave the Jets a 1st down. Trevor Simeon went deep to Randall Cobb at the end zone, only for Brandon Jones to pick off Trevor Simeon and takes it down to the Miami Dolphins 41-yard line. Raheem Mostert for 4 yards. Raheem Mostert for 2 yards. And then on 3rd and 4, Tua to Durham Smythe for 9 yards and a 1st down. Then we go into the 4th quarter in the middle of this drive. 2nd and 12, Tua to Cedric Wilson for a loss of 1. And then 3rd and 13, Tua to Durham Smythe for 11 yards, getting most of the yardage back. The Dolphins go for it. They don't elect to kick the field goal. And Devon Achane up the middle for 4 yards and a 1st down. Raheem Mostert takes it down to the Jets' 14-yard line for a 1st down after an 18-yard gain. Julian Hill was called for offensive holding, so it made it 1st and 20 at the Jets' 24. Tua to Jalen Waddle for a loss of 1. Devon Achane picked up 10 yards on the next play. And on 3rd and 11, Tua was sacked by Solomon Thomas. Jason Sanders made a 35-yard field goal to make it 30-0 at this point in the game. Tua Tagovailoa and the rest of the starters were out. Mike White was in, and the backups were in on defense. Bradley Chubb got a forced fumble on Trevor Simeon, and he recovered his own fumble. So Bradley Chubb was the MVP today, folks. The Dolphins punt. The Jets then go 10 plays, 24 yards. And to end the game, Trevor Simeon throws an interception to Brandon Jones. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. I told you I wouldn't have to say much about the second half. That was very quick. Dolphins got 3 turnovers in the second half. 4 turnovers today on defense. The Bradley Chubb forced fumble in the 1st quarter on the Jets' first drive. Then the Brandon Jones interception, first one. Bradley Chubb with another forced fumble. And then Brandon Jones with another interception. So, I'm very proud of this Dolphins team. Let me just say that right now. I'm very proud of the way the Dolphins bounced back after Monday night. Because Monday night, that loss crushed me as a fan. And with the collapse that happened last year and the big December games that have happened in the past, in 2020 and 2021, and the Dolphins crumble, it would be hard not to panic after that collapse on Monday night. It would be hard not to. And going into this game, yeah, I was nervous. A division rival that had absolutely nothing to lose and was coming off its best game of the entire season, blowing out the Houston Texans. And, you shut a lot of people up today, including myself. And I'm very happy to have been shut up today. I am. You get out of this game, you win 30-0. Hopefully, you get back some key guys next week against the Cowboys. That is going to be a huge game. We're going to need Tyreek, Xavier Howard, Deshaun Elliott. I don't know if Holland's going to be ready. 2 sprained MCLs. That's a lot to deal with. I hope he's out on the field next week. But this is a big game against the Dallas Cowboys because now you have a chance with the entire world watching on Christmas Eve. This is going to be a 4:25 kickoff with the entire world watching this game. You have a chance to go out there and prove that you can beat a good team. The Dolphins have to get a quality win over one of these teams. It has to be either against the Cowboys, the Ravens, or the Buffalo Bills. That game at the end of the season might be for the division. Who knows? I'm not ruling it out yet. But if the Cowboys won, that would be a huge help if they beat the Bills today. But this game against the Cowboys, man, it's going to be a big one. Dak Prescott's current. If I had to pick an MVP right now, Dak Prescott's MVP. That's how good he's been playing this season for the Dallas Cowboys. So, it feels good, man. I can relieve the stress. I can forget about that game on Monday night. The Miami Dolphins are 10-4. I can get back to my normal self, and we can start preparing for the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Eve, which is going to be the biggest game of the season for the Miami Dolphins. But I'm getting out of here, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back with regularly scheduled content next week. We'll have the picks. I'll probably have another video come out tomorrow or Tuesday about the Dolphins, but then we'll have picks on Thursday. We'll have the preview on Friday. And then on Sunday, Christmas Eve night, post-game recap video for the Miami Dolphins against the Dallas Cowboys. I can't wait. This team finally gets to go prove that they can beat a good team before the playoffs. So, I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Comment down below if you're a Jets fan or a Dolphins fan. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter @Colin_Joseph. I will see you guys in the next video, probably sometime tomorrow. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. And I'm out. Peace. Fins up.